this time. Oh, your disc is too slow.
Oh, you got slow disc problems?
I got fucking all sorts of problems.
Coming up on next episode, Scott will relay all of his therapeutic problems.
I got dominated by a
official
dude
Butthole
today.
Podcast, bringing you movies, video games, and randomness in between.
Now bringing
your host, Scott, the Great Brandino, Gage's Rage,
Wrong.
and Star Lamar.
This is
Is he gonna do it?
the Butthole
Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it?
Review.
Do what?
Never mind.
What's up, girl?
Sup, girl?
Sup, girl?
Oh, fucking next level.
Welcome, everybody, to the official Butthole Podcast. It is episode number 217.
I thought we were at 300 already. What happened?
Some days it feels like it.
We got a lot of them kicked off of YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah, if you go on our YouTube channel, we got like 8 episodes.
is that because we didn't mark them as explicit?
No, it's because I guess in a few of them, apparently we were threatening people in some of the Butthole After Dark ones. I said a few things about certain individuals that are politicians that I guess is threatening. I don't know. I'm sure they get way worse things in the mail.
Yeah. And we do have breaking news for this movie and review.
Yes, we do.
We do have breaking news. Scott actually watched the movie.
Yeah, I got a new bit I'm going to start doing. I'm going to live stream me watching the movie.
That way we actually, I don't even know if he's going to have the movie on.
And
It's just going to be Scott for 45 minutes eating popcorn, being like,
to prove that he watched it, he live texted while he was watching the movie.
Yeah.
Brandon, why did you pick this movie, you fucking idiot?
Well, the beginning I was kind of like, nah, I'm not a big fan of this movie. But as it went on, it was an okay movie. And then, of course, there's tits in the movie. Spoiler alert. So that brings it up a little bit. And, yeah.
So we're going to let Scott take this one, since he normally sits back, and we were without one of our fearless members, Gage's Rage.
Rest in peace.
I need to pull up the IMDb so I get the names of all these fuckers right. I don't know how you guys...
That concludes this podcast. I can just... I'll
Yeah,
pull it up
this
on
movie was
the TV.
good. I liked it. 6.9.
Pull it up on the TV.
I don't
The
understand...
movie was the whole 9 yards.
This is correct. And in the movie, it has, well, of course, Bruce Willis, who's a stud in the movie. Michael Clark Duncan, who is the bodyguard, basically. He's not the bodyguard, but he's the right-hand man
Frankie Figs.
Yeah, he's the right-hand man to Bruce Willis, who is Jimmy Tedeschi, a
Jimmy Two
mobster and a hitman from Chicago, who ends up moving out into... Where does he move?
Canada.
in Canada.
Yeah, but where in Canada?
It's all
Vancouver.
I think it's all one place. It's just Canada.
It's
Okay.
French, so it's in Vancouver's the French one. Ottawa.
Well, it might even say it in the...
The guy's wearing an Ottawa sweater.
It doesn't really matter because
Not
he
Vancouver.
moves to Canada.
Not Vancouver. The one above New York.
Sure.
Ontario.
Ontario sounds right. Yeah.
No, Czech Republic is not Canada. Newfoundland.
Ontario.
Newfoundland
They
is
speak
one.
Saskatchewan?
French,
Saskatchewan.
Canadian.
I'm sure it. Why don't you just
Because
Google...
Vancouver's over Seattle.
Why don't we just like...
It's Ontario.
Quebec.
Quebec?
That
Okay.
might have been it. It might have been Quebec.
Sure.
Quebec and Ontario border each other.
That's fine. But he moves in to a house and he ends up becoming he's neighbors with Oz Ozeransky,
Quebec
who's
is
a
correct.
dentist
Matthew Perry.
in a failing marriage. Well, yeah, at that point it's a failing marriage. They both hate each other, him and his wife. But the second that Bruce Willis moves in, otherwise known as Jimmy Tulip, Oz knows who he is right away. He knows the guy, knows that he's a big-time hitman from Chicago.
He's got the tulip tattooed on his inner arm somewhere. So he's pointing to the moving guys, and all of a sudden he's having flashbacks of the... Was it the...
It's like
Golagag.
newspapers. And
Golagag gang.
So Oz runs into his house, tells his wife like who Jimmy is, whatever, goes outside. Jimmy then grabs Oz and goes for a drive with him. He says, what? It's not going to kill you. Because Oz is very nervous about getting in the car with Jimmy. So they get in the car. They go to like some sort of market. They're like on the side of the street. There's a stand selling flowers, and tulips just happen to be there. Jimmy grabs a tulip. They're talking. Oz is obviously nervous. On the way there, Oz is talking about how, he's from Chicago, but he didn't grow up in Chicago, and he was only really born in Chicago, and he knows absolutely nothing about Chicago, nor would he ever know anything about Chicago, so it's all okay.
And Perry, or Oz, we'll just call him Oz, he plays this like really quirky guy. So when he's doing all this, it's obvious he's been from Chicago. He knows about Chicago.
I know nothing about Chicago.
We had a dentistry office. It definitely wasn't Chicago.
And he's just nervous the whole movie. He can't lie well. He can't keep a straight face. He can't keep a secret. He's
living with his wife and his wife's mother. His wife's father, who he owned a dental practice with, is in jail for embezzlement.
Yep.
So it's a criminal family, and he has to put up with the wife and the mother-in-law after the husband goes to jail. They move to Canada to try to get away from everything because that's where they're from initially.
Well, that's where the wife's family's from. He's originally from Chicago, and then also on top of that, the father-in-law had like a shit ton of debt. And so the wife doesn't work. She sits at home. She's pretty much just a bum. Shitty human being is kind of the picture they depicted in the movie. And she's riding out Oz to pay off the debt. They're obviously in a bad marriage, and they don't want to be together, but she's not going to leave him. And he doesn't want to leave her because she's going to take half of everything. So he's stuck.
Neither of them likes each other. They both know that they don't really like each other.
And so he works at his dentist office, and his receptionist, which is, what's her name?
Jill.
Yep. Jill is pretty much telling him, like, get rid of her. Like, fuck her. You know, go get laid by somebody else, because apparently he hasn't been getting laid in a while. So,
at all, yeah.
You know, go
5
do some.
years.
Was it 5? Is that what he said?
Yeah, he says that to the wife of Jimmy Tulip.
Jesus. Okay.
Didn't she say it's 5 years for me, or it's been a while for me? And he says, me too, like 5 years. But I'm married. Like once
she said it's been 5 years because Tulip was in jail for 5 years.
Yep.
I know. Did they say is he out because he ratted on people? Or
yeah, they say at the beginning
Was he
he
in
ratted on the big dog.
Witness protection.
Yeah.
And what was the big dog's name again? Wasn't he the guy?
Yanni.
Yeah, where is Yanni?
Right there.
Kevin. Yeah, Yanni Gogolak. And so they were a Russian. Was it Russian mob? Is that what it was?
Turkish.
I don't know.
They were some form of mob that, and Tulip was their hitman. He
Hungarian?
ratted on them. It could have been.
Hungarian is correct. Yes.
Point
It's a
for
Hungarian
star.
mob.
Point for star. And the wife, he tells the wife who's living next door, and the wife is like, you know what? Why don't you go back to Chicago, go find the Golagak gang, let them know you know where Jimmy the Tulip is, get a finder's fee, and if you do that and they pay off her dad's debt, she'll give him a divorce, free and clean. So he doesn't want to go, but he also knows that she mentioned she's going to make his life a living hell if he stays there. So he decides to go back to Chicago, but he's not going to go try and find the Golagak gang because he doesn't want anything to do with that. But as he leaves, the wife sneaks over next door to the Tulip's house and asks him, for $10,000, will you kill my husband? Get a hefty life insurance policy, be done with him, pay off the debt, and they'd move away.
And tells him that he went to Chicago to go rat him up.
Yep, so she forced him to go there and then ratted on him for going there. And once he gets there, he's talking with his buddy. He's like, nah, I'm not going to do it. Like, I don't have any interest. I just wanted to get her off my back and be okay. Goes back into his apartment, or his hotel room, and Frankie Figs, hitman, well, bodyguard type
He's
guy.
acting as a hitman.
Is that what
He's
it is?
acting, yeah, because he wants the contract. So he says, we know you know where Tulips is. We want you to tell us. I'm going to bring you to the main guy, Yanni. You're going to tell him everything. Won't tell him how he knows. He figures his friend ratted him out. And he says, doesn't matter how I know. I'm going to bring you there. They bring him to Yanni. He says, he knows where it is. I want the contract. Yanni brings out his wife, Tulip's wife, current wife. And I don't know I know what the connection is, but why she was there at that time, I can't remember.
So they were holding her there, too, because they had a pact. I think it was Yanni, Jimmy, and Jill all had a pact together. And if I think two of them died, the third one would get $10 million.
I know that it required 3 signatures, they said.
Yep.
And it was their 3 signatures. And the easiest way for one person to get it would be
for the other two to die.
the other two to die. But
So that's why I think they held her there.
I didn't know she was working with them.
I don't think intentionally she was working with the gang. But I think she got roped up into it with Jimmy, and then Jimmy ratted him out, so they were holding her more as collateral. But you find out as she walks in the room, Oz is love at first sight. Falls in love, thinks she's the best thing ever.
And she is good looking.
She was in a movie. What was it called? Species. Did you guys ever see Species?
No.
Nope.
I just remember going to the video store when I was a kid, and there's this sexy, like, half alien, half human on the cover. I don't even know if I saw it. I'm sure it was on, like, late night TNT one time when I was a kid. But I clicked on her IMDb as the only thing she was in that I recognized.
Oh, TNT. I was thinking TMNT. And I was like, it was some late night Ninja Turtle show, and
She was playing
it's
April.
a slippery slope. One thing you go from a half alien, and next thing you know, you're Scooby Doo. And
She's in humanoid form. She could turn into the alien, but it's still probably like a sexy alien, like Gage would smash.
oh yeah, 100%.
Well, that doesn't mean it's a sexy alien.
It just needs to be a It just needs to be an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An alien in female form, really.
Just an alien.
Yeah.
Gage wants to be the first one to do that.
By the way, that's speaking of aliens, that's why he's out tonight. He got some crazy ass disease from an alien.
It's called hurt butthole.
Yeah.
Anal probed.
And he's not out because he's recovering from it. He's out because he's still into it.
Yeah.
Like, he's with it right now, going for round 2. He's like, boys, had a hell of a session today, going for round 2 tonight.
I'm
I won't
not
be
going to
there.
make it.
And I'm like, whatever, dude.
It's all in the name of science, so Gage can miss a couple podcasts for science.
The butthole is all about science.
It is.
Hardcore facts.
We bring you all of the facts.
That's all we're into.
The wife shows up with a couple of the bodyguards to his hotel room. They talk. They kind of share a bond of some sorts. She leaves with the bodyguards, somehow convinces them to go out for the night, goes back to the hotel room, and they bang.
Hardcore.
And I'm watching, thinking, she's bad. I don't remember this movie at all. I think I watched it when it first came out, but I didn't remember a lick of it. I thought for sure she was bad. She turned out not to be bad. I thought she had ulterior motives.
She wasn't in love with Jimmy, but Jimmy, although a hitman and would kill people, had some sort of sick twist on reality, and he thought that he wasn't going to make it into heaven. It was a sin to get divorced.
Yeah,
So
he refused to get divorced.
He wasn't going to divorce her, but he's cheated on her multiple times.
And he would kill her.
Yeah, that was his plan.
Yeah.
He wanted to take care of her to get his $10 million. So Jimmy, you soon find out that Jimmy knows about everything. Jimmy calls the hotel and has a conversation with Oz, and he's like, oh, yeah, no, I know. Your wife came over and told me. So Frankie is on his side. Or maybe he didn't find that out till he got back to...
Yeah, not till back in Canada.
So they make their way back to Canada. The whole gang ends up going up there. Frankie Figgs is tailing them. And I think they bring up the wife, too. She goes up there originally with them, right?
Yeah, but not in the group with Figs.
Yep, it was just Figgs and Oz going up there, and then they meet with Jimmy, and that's when they tell Oz that they're in it together. They want to get rid of Yanni, and Figgs and Jimmy are good friends.
Yeah, and Tulip sent Figs to go see him in the first place. And the fact that he wouldn't tell him anything made them realize that he's a good guy and they can trust him, and he was honest, and he's like, I don't know anything. And
Yep, so that's kind of what saved him. Otherwise, Jimmy probably would have taken care of him right away.
no.
And so
But
there...
he still wouldn't tell him that he boned his wife.
Nope.
Not yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's something you kind of keep secret.
Yeah, for a little bit.
So I think Figgs then calls back to the Golgag gang. Yanni and the group comes up there, and you're finding out that his receptionist has this deep infatuation with Jimmy the Tulip. She really likes him a lot.
Like hardcore.
And Jimmy tells Oz before she comes over, he's like, yeah, and your wife offered $10,000 for me to kill you. And he's like, what? Oh, what? He's like, yeah, well, it turns out she hired a hitman before, and it didn't work out. So he's awestruck, right? And
Yeah.
it's Oz, so he's like this quirky, weird...
Chandler from Friends.
Yes, Chandler from
Chandler
Friends.
came out multiple times during that movie.
And that was... When was this movie made?
2000.
2000, I believe
So
it was.
that was in the peak of Friends.
Oh, yeah.
At the same time. So the receptionist, Jill, ends up going over there and loves Jimmy, falls in love with him. You know, just everything about him. She wanted to be a hitman, is what she said. She was She wanted to do it, and actually, she was the one that the wife hired to kill
Correct.
Oz.
Yep.
So she
Which
went
is
in,
odd enough, but funny.
She stayed in the dentistry office for 3 weeks, but then started to like Oz. She's like, well, I can't kill him. And Jimmy's like, oh, that's the first thing. You can't get too close. And
Yeah,
they're
Jimmy's
just
a
talking
killer.
about how they were going to kill Oz, and Oz is
Right
like,
in front of him.
What are you doing? What?
They're sitting
Jimmy
at a table.
understood, though. He said, Oz is a good guy. He's very likable.
Yeah.
He's a hard client.
And then he tells his story about the first guy he ever killed or got hired to do, and he got too close to him. It was a cousin of somebody, and what he said, you got to run. I'm supposed to kill you. You got to go. And he turns around, and the guy shoots Jimmy in the back. He's like, well, I lost that friendship real quick after that, so I killed him. And that's this bullet hole right here in my chest. That's what reminds me every day. Don't get too close.
Yep, don't get too close. There was very good, like, I would say conversations, but like there was enough good scenes in this movie that kept it entertaining.
I would agree. And so after that, the gang comes up, and Jimmy's got this plan, pretending like he's going to go lay down, go to sleep, and the Golagag gang is going to stroll up into his house after he goes to bed and try and kill him. Well, the wife goes and tries to hire another hitman. And that hitman turns out that, you find out later, he's a police officer, but he was doing it undercover. And so they're talking in the car, and they're getting all the details and everything, and then all of a sudden the Golagag gang is sneaking into Jimmy's house, and they had no idea because their car was parked in the driveway too, or something like that. I don't know how it was there and they didn't see it.
Something like that.
But whatever.
Well, the wife was banging the cop hitman,
in order to get him to do
to
what
get
she
him
wanted.
to do it
Yep.
for less money too, because they had agreed at like 15,
And then she's like,
and
I'll
she
pay
went
you
down
10.
to 10.
Yeah. She was a sleazeball.
And she was borrowing the money from him at the beginning of the movie. She was probably borrowing the money from him to kill him.
That's what it was. And then she was going to take the insurance money and cash out and move away. So the gang goes in there, and this is where Jill, she really finds her own.
Yeah, she learns how to be a hit woman. A hit person is probably the 2021 saying for it.
Yeah. Definitely not Hitman anymore.
Yep.
Yeah. A hit person.
Hit fluidity.
A hit woman probably sounds right. That just doesn't roll off the tongue like hitman.
Hit person.
Yeah, hit person.
It's all inclusive.
Hit it.
Murderer. We'll go with that. That is,
Accidental homicide.
there are no gender terms when it comes to murder. It's you killed somebody. And so the gang goes in there.
You murdered somebody. You're not a hitman. You're a murderer.
And so they're starting to fire some shots, and I think she opens the door, and she's just... Was she absolutely naked, or was she just topless?
Just topless.
They only showed the top.
But she might have been completely naked. A man can dream, can he?
And that's for sure. And so...
Distraction.
That's what it
101.
was. Yep. And they looked
And it
at
worked.
her. They looked at her, and then, boom, got shot.
I would have got shot, too.
She might have even been the one that took out Yanni. Was she the one that killed Yanni? Or was it Jimmy?
No, because Yanni was later. Because that was phase 2 of the...
Yanni came
Of
up the
the plan.
stairs. Yanni got killed walking up the stairs inside the house.
No, I think Jimmy kills Yanni.
That could have been. It doesn't really matter.
I think Jimmy kills Yanni, and she kills the person at the top of the stairs.
Now this cop
whatever.
is hearing all this shit as...
Oh, who's outside?
Yep, he's confused, doesn't know what's going on, so he's starting to up and try and figure it out. And then Jill sticks her tits out the window. She's like, "Oh, hey, what's going on? Come here." And then Jimmy shoots him a couple times, kills him. And Oz and what's her name? Cynthia? Is that who it was?
The wife?
Yeah, the wife. Cynthia.
Cynthia.
Yep. They take off. And I don't remember, did they hide? Were they taken
Yeah.
off from Jimmy? Because
Yeah,
Jimmy
they
was
went
going to kill her
Because
next.
Jimmy
They went
wanted
ahead.
to kill her, and he
Yep.
said, I will not let him kill you.
Yep.
Yep. So they ran off. And then I think, did they all formulate a plan? No. Figs.
No, Oz and Cynthia formulated the plan.
Yes. And they met up at the dentistry office where he works. And they went through and they took this cop.
Well, first he told him that he's banging his wife.
And that really made Oz mad.
That there was very little emotion coming out of Oz until he told him that, and then he kind of went off. He's like, "I'm going to kill you too. Like I'm going to kill everyone." And then he said, but wait, I have a plan that everyone can get out of this scotch-free. You can get your money. Everything will be fine. And it was basically like a switcheroo of people using dental records, using what he could do at a dentist office.
Yep, he created molds and put it on this dead police officer and made it look like it was Jimmy.
Yep.
Which confuses me a little bit, but we'll get into it here in a second.
Yeah, that part of the movie I didn't completely understand.
Because they fabricated the dental records and they took...
Which they could do because he's a dentist.
Yep, but they took Yanni's body and this dead cop's body, they put him in a car, and they created a barbecue. They lit it on fire, it exploded, and so everybody thought that Jimmy died and Yanni died. So Cynthia was the only living person in that thing.
Yeah.
But then later, the cops come to investigate. Did they find the body of that missing police officer? Or were they coming because they saw his car was parked out front of the house?
I think they found his badge inside.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's one thing that I didn't get that we'll get to later. But so all that was left was the teeth. They identified him as that. Cynthia went to go get the money, but she was getting the money for Jill and Tulips.
Yep. So that way they could live. So Jimmy could get his money so they wouldn't kill Cynthia.
It would have been so easy for them to just leave.
Cynthia and Jill?
Cynthia and Oz. Well, Jill was at the bank, right?
Yep.
And she gave him the $1 million wedding present or whatever.
The issue was Jimmy wouldn't have been dead without Oz's plan. And the only way they made it work was Jill came, they all went to the dentist office together, but then Jill stayed with Cynthia. So Cynthia wasn't allowed to leave, and Oz wasn't allowed to leave until the plan was through. So they needed everything to play out that way. They couldn't just run, but Jill did offer
So she got the cash for them because Jill would have killed Cynthia if she didn't?
Yeah, I think so. Because Jill
that
went...
was her money when she went to the bank. I don't know why she was giving it all to Tulips.
Because Oz was still with Tulips. And then Jill was with Cynthia, so they both would have died if they wouldn't have given him the money.
Yeah.
Or at a minimum one.
And then Jill really likes Oz. She was always a fan of him. That's why she didn't kill him in the first place. And I think they were sitting there, and she's like, all right, tell her guy, go away, give us a minute. And so they're talking through it, and she's pretty much like, we can just take this money and run. We don't have to give them anything. We can just go. Cynthia's like, well, you know, I love Oz. I actually love Oz. I don't want to leave him, so I'd rather not have the money.
And have him.
Yep. And she's like, that's the right answer. And so the guy comes back, and she even says Jimmy at one point. She's like, oh, no, not that Jimmy, because Jimmy's supposed to be dead.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then he walks away again, and she's like, okay, I'm going to agree to we're going to give you $1 million as a wedding present, but you need to marry him in order to get it, type deal. And so I think Oz went on the boat with Jimmy and
Figs.
Frankie Figs.
Frankie Figs, yep.
And Figs is having a conversation with Jimmy about it, and he's like,
where Oz can't hear him.
yep, and you're going to have to kill Oz. Like, you have to get rid of him, you got to get rid of the body. He's like, oh, I don't know. And then all of a sudden they're standing on the side of the boat, and Figs is next to Oz, and Jimmy pulls the gun up and points it at Oz, and then shifts over and shoots Frankie, and Frankie dies.
Falls into the water.
And then you got classic fucking Chandler. He's like, why would you do that? It's like, well, he said it was either I had to kill you or him, and if I didn't kill you, he was going to think I was soft, so he was going to try and kill me and take my money. He's like, well, okay, well, you made the right decision.
Just accepts it.
And they end up going back. They get the money, and this is where Oz goes and tells Cynthia, he's like, marry me. He's like, oh, did you talk to Jimmy? He's like, no, I didn't talk to Jimmy. So you just genuinely want to marry me?
Yep.
Like, yeah, I do. So they get married, and
she's like, oh my God, you are telling the truth. Like, you didn't talk to him. You don't know.
And it's happily ever after that.
That's the whole 9 yards.
Should we get in?
Do you guys know why it's called the whole 9 yards?
No.
Do you know what the origin of that phrase was? I had to look it up. It's actually World War II. The battle planes would have 27 feet
To get off the ship?
No, of like bullets. So when they say, "Oh, I gave him the whole 9 yards," I
unloaded the
clip at it.
Wow.
That's what the whole 9 yards means. I gave it everything I had.
So they do have a sequel called The Whole 10 Yards.
Which is not a saying.
I don't think so.
No,
I mean,
just a play on the title.
Yeah, or, I mean, the amount of yards needed to get a first down without a penalty or reduction of yards.
That's fair. That's true. That's a good point.
It's a fresh set of downs.
That's a fresh set of downs.
But that one, unfortunately, is not free on Amazon Prime to watch, which kind of sucks.
And you said you may have mistaken
Which one I was thinking
which one
of.
you watched as a child.
Because I think in the second one, and I don't want to... If you're going to watch it, spoiler alert. We didn't spoil anything else before this, but spoiler alert. I think they end up changing wives. I always kind of remember it as kind of like a swinger thing. So I think Oz and Jill end up getting together.
Like for a one-night fling or like
I think
together?
I think she starts not liking it with Jimmy because Jimmy is no longer a badass at the beginning of the movie. He gets a green thumb and he starts planting and working with gardening a lot
Are you
more
fucking
and
kidding
chickens.
me? That's totally it.
And I think he loses his edge.
And she doesn't like that.
He becomes softer. He's
So
like a
then
suburban house dad type
So then
deal.
does Oz become a badass or is he just still in the same old dentist self?
They end up, somebody comes to try and attack him. And I think Oz starts to take charge a little bit more.
And she
But
likes that.
They're all still contacting back and forth. And Jill always liked Oz, but never quite like that. And I think after the years of it, she started to fall for Oz more. And I think Cynthia and Jimmy end up getting back together. And Jill and Oz end up getting together.
Of course.
So I remember that one, but I don't remember the whole plot to the story. So I might end up renting it and watching it because fresh in my mind.
Yeah, for sure.
it has terrible reviews on IMDb.
The whole
Second
10
one?
yards?
Yeah. A
Can't
lot of
win 'em
people
all.
saying there shouldn't. And a lot of big fans of the first one saying, why is this movie made? But should we get into rankings?
Yeah, should we do Gage's first, being he sent it in?
Yeah.
All right. So Gage's Rage says, I'm giving the whole 9 yards a 6.7. Solid movie with some twists that I saw coming, but more I didn't see coming. Awesome story, great characters and actors, and tits. LOL. It's like some shit he just pulled off of IMDb.
That's a total Scott review right there.
So Gage goes with a 6.7.
Honestly, it's a little bit higher than what I'm going to give it. I think I was a little bit lower, but you guys talked me into it. I think I'm going to give it a 6.1. 6.1. I liked the movie. I thought the story kept you entertained, but it's not like it's a must-see movie.
No.
It's got decent acting, but I thought some things fell a little short. So yeah, 6.1.
Yeah. I'd probably go with the 6. It's, if they could show tits on regular TV, it's probably like a rainy Sunday afternoon on USA. Catch it. Don't have to pay that close of attention. But definitely not one I'd tell people to go home and watch right now.
For me, I was actually going to go with the 5.9, but because there's tits, I'm going to go with a 6.9. It is a 6, though. The movie's it's about a 6. Not a bad movie by any means, but not one that I would say you got to watch either.
So are you going with the 6 or 6.9?
6.9, you have to. You got to respect the segment. You got to respect the bit. If there's tits, it goes up 1, right? That's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do.
But, yeah, you probably should only watch it if you're watching it for the tits.
Yeah, for sure.
If
And
it's edited
Bruce Willis
on
is pretty
TV.
good in it, and so is Matthew Perry. Like, they're both pretty good in the movie.
But again, it's not a top-of-the-line movie. It's not a must-watch movie. But if you have time and you're bored and you're looking for something to watch, it's not like you're going to waste your time watching it.
Right.
And it's fairly short, about an hour and a half.
Yep.
I watched it in the hospital before Paige was giving birth, and I had to pause it a few times because nurses were walking in constantly. And I was like,
They're so inconsiderate.
maybe they want to see tits. I don't know. Maybe they don't. I was just being generous.
So inconsiderate.
So I paused it on the tit scenes.
Hey, fun fact. Matthew Perry's wife in this movie is the sister of his wife in Friends' husband. Did you follow that?
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, so his wife...
His wife in this movie is the sister to his wife and friend's husband.
So his wife in Friends is Monica.
Yep.
Monica was married to David Arquette. His wife in this movie is David Arquette's sister
Monica was married?
in real life.
In real life, not in
real
Friends.
life. I was thinking Friends.
No.
She was married to Chandler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we were talking in Friends and Monica was married to somebody else.
I just noticed it on the screen. Fun fact.
That's crazy.
That's why I watched it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I picked it.
And did you know dentists had such high suicide rates?
I didn't, but
You know who
looked it
else
up.
does, ironically? Veterinarians.
really.
Yeah.
It was doctors were one. I read one of these lists when I was younger, and I thought chefs was the number one answer on it, and it wasn't even on the list.
What?
When I looked it
if
up.
you make good food, why would you want to do
It's
that?
just a lot of pressure.
They must not
Chefs
record them.
are like super hard on themselves, but it was
you're
doctors.
talking like high level chefs at like Manny Steakhouse or some like 6-star restaurant.
They must
on
not
Five.
record chef deaths.
Because
chef suicides.
I mean, McDonald's, they're chefs, right, in their own art.
Yeah, but so is doctors, dentists, vets,
Yes, and I'm on the
You know
level
what
of
was
Matt
on there?
Waldman for rookie scouting.
electricians,
Real star.
Well, for suicide or accidental death?
suicide, and it said what they think the likelihood could come from is when you get shocked, it messes with your brain.
Oh my God! How many times have you been shocked?
Once a day for 4 years.
I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna have to check on Gage.
Yeah.
I've
He's
never
always
even
wired.
heard of this,
No shit,
but it
dude.
was on the list I read. Yeah,
How are you doing? Are you okay, Star?
I'm feel
you know,
fine.
you know, you can always come to
The bud hole.
Gage.
I thought it was interesting. Sad, but interesting.
That is interesting.
So our score ended up coming out at a 6.43.
We're right on pace with
Solid
IMDb.
IMDb is 6.7, and honestly, what you're realizing here, if you stuck with us through what are we at now? We're at 37 movies. We've been doing that for 37 weeks,
Yeah.
even longer than that. 'cause
We took
skipped a
breaks.
couple.
Yeah,
Wow, we got a pretty damn good list going here.
not of movies, but just a long list.
There's some good movies and there's some bad movies and
Yes,
there's some
yes, we
movies
don't-
that are okay and there's some movies that are really not okay and
Star's point is fair. It's not a good list of movies. It's a long list of. It's a good list of base for movies. But if you've been hanging with us for 37 weeks, what you can realize in all of this is the fact that you don't need 5,000 people to review a movie on IMDb when you can get the same outcome with 4. Because
and actually a little bit better.
a lot better.
Yeah.
643 is a much more accurate review of this. And in my opinion, it's what do we have at 6.7? Is it on par with As Above, So Below? That's a little bit higher than 6.7 on our list.
Or What Happened to Monday, which came in at 6.58.
6.98 was Just Go With It. I think Just Go With It is a better movie.
Power came in at 6.7. I would say it's similar to all of these movies.
The Silence was 6.25. That was early.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be a 6.25.
Well, if you look there, though,
we
my
watched it
score
again.
for The Silence was a 9.9. So, of course, the rest of them are going to be drug up by me.
Well, Scott picked it. The Silence might be a little bit higher if we rewatched it, just in the general scheme of things, don't you think? That'd probably be closer to a 6.7.
I think it's an okay movie.
The Silence?
Yeah.
I didn't
The Silence is the one about the
I
fucking
haven't-
demon bats.
Yeah.
given one
Demogorgons.
Yeah.
thought about that movie since we did the review on it until I just saw it on the list there.
The
So
only
that's why I forgot that we even watched it.
Well, you're lucky. I think about it every day.
I want to see how many of these I would probably forget.
what I've noticed is we don't have overly Get In. That
Ooh,
movie
Creep.
sucked.
I forgot about Creep.
Get In only sucked because it was in French the entire time and you had to read. God, what a,
Ooh, what is Middleman?
you
That was
didn't
the one
watch
about
Middlemen?
The porn.
Oh, yes. Okay. No, I'm trying to remember some of these movies. For some reason, I thought Middleman was the Irishman for a second. But, because, well, he doesn't play the middleman, but kind of.
In a sense.
Yeah.
You'll probably never remember
I
the Titans.
Care a lot.
That was
That's the good movie that was on Netflix. The one where she
some
takes
would say
over.
it's good, Gage would say it's not.
I liked it. What did I rate? I Care a Lot. I gave it a 6.7, I think.
Yeah, we gave it what did it come out? 6.25.
Yeah.
Truthfully, that's probably better than The Silence, though.
Mm.
Some would think.
Yeah, probably. You
Anyways,
guys ready for the next movie in review for next week?
I've been waiting. I've been stalling because I thought you were picking.
The movie in review. Well, that's why I kind of bowed out of the movie review halfway through because I was like, "Oh fuck, I gotta find a movie." The movie for next week is on Amazon Prime, and it's called
Cuties.
"You Were Never Really Here." It's with Joaquin Phoenix. It's from 2017, and it's about a traumatized veteran, unafraid of violence, tracks down missing girls for a living. When a job spins out of control, Joe's nightmares overtake him as a conspiracy is uncovered, leading to what may be his death trip or his awakening.
Is this the one that kind of acts as a documentary?
I have no clue. I just looked it up, saw it, read the thing on it.
Does
and
he
I was
have a
like,
big beard?
Yeah.
So he was doing this character for a while, and he'd go on his talk shows as the character. And it was when he said he was going to become a rapper and all this stuff. And then I think this might be the movie, but what you just read about it doesn't sound right at all.
He's got a big gray burly beard in the movie.
I just had no idea that's what the movie was about. I thought it was, he just made like a funny mockumentary thing about, oh, no, definitely not what I'm thinking.
I've never seen it before. Never even heard of it. So
I never heard of it either, but here we are.
Well, it's going to go on my list of things to watch for next week. And if you listened earlier to this podcast, Scott said he's going to be live streaming from now on.
I'm going to live stream every movie that I watch. It's just going to be a video of the camera on my face. And I'll be eating popcorn.
Whoa!
Half unbuttoned shirt. And if I got a t-shirt on, a half ripped shirt.
And no pants.
The movie I'm thinking
You can't
of,
watch a movie in pants.
it's called I'm Still Here
Oh.
with Joaquin Phoenix.
Well, that's kind of really close to the title of this movie. I'm still here and you were never really here.
Yeah.
Couple nice things about this movie. It's rated R, which is cool. Like I like rated R. That always
Might
means
be
there's
tits.
chance of nudity. Yep. And it's an hour and 29 minutes.
Sweet.
So,
Quick watch.
yep.
Thankfully, we've had some long movies.
The Irishman, but that was good. You still got an hour left. You got to finish it.
I haven't finished it yet, but I kind of got the whole details of it. Well, that wraps up this podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, please like, review, and give a rating on our podcast on whatever platform that you listen on. If you are so inclined, check out our YouTube page and subscribe to that as well. We're trying to build that platform. And then stay tuned for the NFL Draft. I think without Gage here, we've been forgetting to mention that our sponsor is the Blue Collar Media Group, and we will be doing the draft for them live the entire first and second day. And actually, day 2, we're going to be doing a lot of fun things during the day.
Yes.
That Friday, because everybody's going to be crashing at my place because we're all going to be drinking.
This is true.
So we're going to have some fun times.
Like a 2-day party.
Yeah.
Could turn into an all-weekend party. I actually have that Monday off, too.
I got plans.
Well, Monday we'll be breaking down the overall draft grade.
We got a lot
on
of
the
things going
podcast.
on that weekend. So
we got to
check
rest
out-
our vocal cords a little bit.
Whatever. Pussies.
We're used to talking a lot.
Check out our sponsors, Blue Collar Media Group, at bluecollarmedia.com or at bluecollarmg.com or at bluecollarmg on Instagram, Twitter, and I think Facebook too, and all that other stuff.
And
They're
go.
good. Yeah.
And
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 apparently,
it-
I've never been on live TV before, and apparently you should.
go jerk off.
Bye.
Check out our website, www.officialbutthole.com. We're on all socials at
Did
official
you guys pick
butthole.
up on that when Gage
Please
sent me
leave
the
us
text
a
the other
rating
day?
and review on Apple Music, and we'll see you next time.
That was pretty funny. So
I didn't hear it. I didn't put it together.
Oh, he was just repeating that. So apparently, if you like this post, and apparently, if you comment, apparently you could win. Yeah.
So you notice?
No, the kid on TV, he was like a 7-year-old or something, maybe even younger than that, and they're like, "Hey, what do you think about this ride?" Well, apparently, I've never been on live TV before, and apparently, it's like, I don't know, and apparently it was hilarious.